Welcome everybody. I'm very pleased to be here. It's my third time. The first time I was at the Ecosummit, I spoke for Sonnen. Back then, there truly was a lack of technology. Later, I came back for Tesla. Back then, there truly was a lack of cars for the future mobility, and people were still wondering if that was possible at all. Today, I'm back because we at 1.5 degree, 1,5 Grad, believe there is a lack of execution when it comes to the last mile, the one-stop shop for solar storage and EV charging. And let me just flip through this. We believe that right now, it's not about money anymore. There is money. It's not about technology anymore. There is more than enough technology available. We think it's all about the last mile. Whoever controls the last mile, the customer, can vertically integrate hardware products, can vertically integrate software solutions, such as those represented here by some of the founders. And we think it's all about speed. And we believe this cannot be done by corporates. We believe this cannot be done by conventional large private equity investors. We believe we have a team and an investor setup that can actually deliver on those two claims. And how does this bottleneck look like? Right now, you see all those beautiful companies there. They are trying to get into the market, and I give you a couple of anecdotes. If you want to have an Enphase system in Baden-Württemberg, 80% of Baden-Württemberg, you will not get installation or execution for Enphase. Enphase has an evaluation of 25 billion. They get per euro in revenue, 25 euros in evaluation. So they have a huge problem of getting access to market share. And it's the same for everyone that you're seeing on that slide. Even at my time at Tesla, one of the biggest issues was customers were not satisfied with charging solutions. We can see this right now. If the scale-up continues, you literally have no execution power. And we're looking at 60,000 fragmented small businesses in Germany to execute decarbonization to a level where we have to actually increase renewable production by 12 times. Right now, we have 50% renewables. We need to increase until 2045 to 6 times of the electricity that we have right now. So we need to do, in the next 20 years, 20 times as much as we did in the last 20 years. And we are basing all of this on the shoulders of the workbench of a fragmented, not digitalized, not well-equipped, not well-financed backbone of small businesses. And this is where we want to go. 70% of all customer costs are not hardware related. If you cut cost in the processes, you deliver more value for the end customer than if you cut cost on the hardware side. The last mile has no access to growth financing. We are looking right now with 1,5 Grad at around about 90 targets that we already engaged. So most of them are installation companies, but also sales companies who have direct customer access and who are selling those units. And they have a debt to revenue ratio below 5%. They literally get less than 1 time EBIT from their banks. So how should they actually grow? Yeah, that's impossible for them, but we want to be the solution. Next point. Oh, no, which is this? Okay, there's literally no control in scalability to secure nationwide customer standards. That's something that we've seen with Sonnen. It's extremely difficult to make sure that your customer, if you are Enphase, if you're Tesla, if you're Volkswagen, if you're Enpal, if you're Shell, with all your ventures that you just bought, to make sure that they get the kind of experience that you want them to have. There's no way of ensuring this right now. We want to do that. The appeal to top talent in this segment is zero. You don't have smart people in that segment, but it has a lot of power, has a lot of momentum, and it will control who will have the largest market share. So we believe we need to bring top talent right at that spot, and that's what we want to do. And 80% of the processes are not standardized, not digitalized. So if you start from logistics, processing, billing, the entire thing has not been professionally worked down yet. So there are lots of low-hanging fruits. And everybody needs it. So if we look into our industry in Europe, you see that the digital startups, they either sell to the big oil companies or coal companies, or they eventually at some point go bankrupt. There is no scalable way yet for great companies from Germany or Europe to go to the stock exchange. So I think this is, and if there are, then they are exceptions. So they really need to find ways how to get to the customer. They can't. It's as simple as that. It's extremely expensive for a software company to get to the customer. We can. So this is what we bring in for them. Big utility and oil companies, they bought so many companies, and in my humble opinion, they don't know what to do with them. So they will need the one-stop shop as well. And obviously you have all the manufacturers, some of them highly valuated, and some of them purely have a pain. Volkswagen has a pain. They need to have retail availability for charge points. And they need to have them on a level where customer satisfaction is acceptable. And they don't have it at all right now. So everybody needs it. And again, nobody is looking to the obvious. But we've been there before with Sonnen, we've been there before with Tesla, and now we are there on the execution. So what's the plan? 1,5 grad, so 1.5 degrees, seeks to invest 100 million euros in majority stakes of Europe's most innovative sales and installation companies. So we look out of all those 60,000 companies for the top 1% that have great teams, great growth, and who understood better than most corporates already how to digitalize. They are great companies. If they were any better at window dressing, they would get venture capital. But they are not, because they are working. So this is who we like the most. And we want to invest in them, and we want to enable them to grow with us and become shareholders of 1,5 grad. Very important to us. We pay in cash and in shares. We want them to be part of what we do. And we want to go and build a big company that will have a lasting impact. And we plan to invest in any company, and that's why I'm here, that can help us to improve customer experience and reduce cost. We have seen in Germany many great companies who could not get through to the last mile. And we say they are corporates with deep pockets, but there's a company now like us, well-funded, and with a bold idea, again, very bold. And we believe for entrepreneurs, we could be the right fit, because we will help you to go through, and you might become one of the entrepreneurs in our team and a shareholder. And last but not least, if we succeed in controlling the last mile, if we succeed to have, let's say, 10% better experiences than anyone in the market, not too much, but just 10%, then why shouldn't we tap the full potential of a decentralized, huge power base that is independent of all manufacturers and corporates? Why not? Why shouldn't we do it? We did it with Sonnen before. We have a good understanding of what to do, and we believe those companies are interesting for us as well. So how do we work? It's very simple. We are right now allocating, as I said, about 80 companies that we're looking at, and we're hoping to close this year, hopefully 2 to 4 companies in that segment. We want to grow fast, and we want to scale at some point. And most importantly, we want to get the word out that there's an alternative to the corporate venture capital companies, and there's also an alternative to just being competitors to the big, well-financed startups, but also tech companies out there, and that's us. And the main point for us is, and I think Petra already said this, the soul of a winner can only succeed if you allow them to keep entrepreneurship alive. And this is something that we really want to do. We want to build a holding structure that will allow our companies to keep that kind of entrepreneurial spirit alive. And I see, oh, my time is still well. Yeah, and so how do we plan to execute this? Since we've looked at this at Sonnen, we've looked at this at Tesla already, back in the day, we see that the setup in Europe is very similar. You have a very similar, let's say, challenge to the German market. And so we are planning to grow the business in 3 phases and also become pan-European. But since we are only 2 months in the market now, we've actually founded in July. The first step, very big step for us, will be Germany. And why do we believe that this makes economical sense? Simple. If you look at the market situation right now, you have a lot of money that's interested in impact investment, in ESG investment, and you see that actually if you are a technology provider and you're listed in the United States, or maybe in Stockholm, you have very favorable tech multiples. If you look at our asset base, All we would need to make this work for our investors and also for our shareholders is a 2-time multiple. So we need only a fraction. We just need to prove that our point to the market is more relevant than most of the other tech companies, and then we believe this has a great opportunity or a great chance to actually succeed. Right? And at the end, we cannot fail at this. So this is why we've named the company after the climate target, 1,5 Grad. And we want to be the go-to alternative for founders, entrepreneurs in that segment. So let's keep it real. And thank you, Jan, for the opportunity to present here today.